Hey Year 6, it's Mr. Harris here, bringing you Thursday's literacy lesson where we're going to share an extract from a book called The Snow Walker's Son, and you won't be surprised to hear that there is a link between what you've been doing on doors and the extract that we have chosen. So if you listen in to this 1 minute and 45-second extract and see what you think. You can pause the video or you can rewind it so that you can listen to it a couple of times, which I've done already, because that will help you with what we do after this. So,
the door was the last one in the corridor. As the flames flickered over it, they showed it was barred. A hefty iron chain hung across it, and the mud floor beneath was red with rust that had flaked off in the long years of locking and unlocking. The keeper hung his lantern on a nail, took the key from a dirty string around his neck and fitted it into the keyhole. Then he looked behind him. "Get on with it," the big man growled. "Let me see what she keeps in there." The keeper grinned. He knew fear when he heard it. With both hands, he turned the key, then tugged out the red chain in a shower of rust and pushed the door. It opened, just a fraction. Darkness and a damp smell oozed through the black slit. He stepped well back, handed the stranger the lantern, and jerked his head. He had no tongue to speak with. She'd made sure he kept her secrets. The stranger hesitated. A draft moved through his hair, and he gazed back up the stone passageway as if he longed suddenly for warmth and light. "From what I've heard," the keeper thought, "you won't be seeing much of those ever again." Then the man hung up the lantern and pushed the door. The keeper watched his face intently in the red glow and his great hand as it clutched a luckstone that swung at his neck. The man went in slowly. The door closed.
Okay. Oh. Okay, I didn't realize it was going to speak over that. Hopefully you can hear me now. Children, you've got a couple of questions to answer on that. And I just wanted to go through them, maybe give you some ideas about how you could answer them before you put them into full sentences. So question 1, the door was the last one in the corridor. What is the significance of the word last? Can you think of another context where the word last has a significant meaning? So, e.g., the last chance. So, I'm going to try and write just some things around this. So, it was the last one in the corridor. Why would someone want to place something or someone behind the last door in the corridor? They've just used that phrase there as well, the last chance. I suppose that's when we're putting something to risk. So think about that. Why would someone want to place something or someone behind the last door in the corridor? Secondly, how do the opening lines highlighted above in question 1 set the mood of the story? What are your immediate impressions? So it makes me ask the question, why are they going to the last door? I also think the corridor was the last one in the corridor. It's quite an abrupt start, a short sentence. So I think the author is trying to create tension here by using a short sentence to begin the paragraph. It leaves me with a lot of questions. Unanswered questions. Okay, let's move on to question 3. I think there's 5 questions. So you spent a great deal of time this week reflecting on the significance of doors and their appearance. What does this description suggest to you? So we need to find the description. Well, I think that's this sentence here. So I might copy that down to where we were to answer that question. So as the flames flickered over it, they showed it was barred. A hefty iron chain hung across it, and the mud floor beneath was red with rust that had flaked off in the long years of locking and unlocking. So, what is the question? What does this appearance suggest to you? Well, the appearance tells us, you could use that as a sentence starter. Now, I'm not going to feel full sentence, but for one thing for certain, in the long years of locking, what does this tell us? Something has been locked behind this door for many years. The evidence there is long years of locking and unlocking. There's a reason they need to go into the room, but we don't know why. Whatever is behind there can't just be left there the whole time. I think it creates a murky atmosphere. Sinister atmosphere. What do I mean by sinister? It means kind of evil, eerie, atmosphere. So it's quite an eerie place. If you think there's flames flickering over it, so it suggests a darkness. Showed it was barred, a hefty iron chain hung across it, and the mud floor beneath was red with rust. So there's a few ideas for you. Question 4. Why has Fisher described the iron chain as being hefty? What could the significance of this word be in the context of the story? So hefty means heavy and bulky, I would say. Why would the chain and lock need to be heavy and bulky? What sort of reasons could we give for that? Okay, I think that's been a theme throughout the whole throughout that whole passage, really. And 5, we've got another description here. Darkness and a damp smell ooze through the black slit. How does this make you feel as a reader? What is the relevance of both darkness and a damp smell? Do either of these surprise you? If so, why? Okay, so there's a smell. What does this suggest? There's something in there that is living, or at least has been living. What about the darkness? In darkness. Is there something that needs to be hidden in there? What sort of feelings are we having from this? Go back to that word before. Sinister, something perhaps evil going on behind that. It's an eerie atmosphere being created. I also think this idea of a damp smell oozing for this, the damp smell maybe might make me feel a bit repulsed or disgusted. finally, it's that idea of a black slit, there's darkness in there, certainly intrigue or suspicion. Intrigue or suspicion. What is behind that door? Okay, so I've just made a few notes, children. You can obviously pause the video at certain points if you'd like to use those to support you in your writing, in your answer to this. Really have a good few listens to that. The passage, I found it very interesting. I had to read it a few times, and listening to it was also quite helpful in me understanding that text. Okay, I'm gonna shut the video down now. Enjoy your next literacy lesson.